You gotta go.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to our St. Helens Public Library board meeting. Um, we'll start with any visitor comments if anyone's visiting.
No visitors.
Okay, and review and approval of the minutes from last month's meeting.
You need a motion, Fatima?
Yes,
Make a
if no one
motion
has
to
any
approve.
comments. Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I
thank you,
can second that motion.
Thank you.
Who was the second? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you. And let's see. We have old business strategic plan subcommittee report.
I don't know if we assign anybody to do that out of our subcommittee, but I can
No.
do that.
Thank you.
So, the strategic plan subcommittee spent a little bit of time wandering in the wilderness, and then we took a break, and now we're back. Suzanne had some great insights from someone at the State Library Association.
Yeah, the State Library of Oregon, she consults with rural libraries on strategic planning.
Perfect, just what we needed. So I think we have some good direction. So you'll be hearing more from us later.
Thank you. Do we have an update on the Makerspace fundraising subcommittee?
Yeah, it's end of the year giving time for grants. There is a window of opportunity in the next 3 weeks for nonprofits. And if I again understand Suzanne with the Friends Group, we can apply through them as they have nonprofit status. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay. So they have 6 or 7 different categories at year end. One is community services, actually focused on, believe it or not, wildlife events. So we won't try to weasel our way into that one. They have a fairly narrow one, programming for individuals in need. I explored a few of those, none of the granting opportunities in full integrity could we apply for. Then we had a great one, books for schools and public libraries. So that's one, Suzanne, if we applied in that area and got money, that would be a budgeting thing. I'm sure you have.
Nope, you froze. Can anybody else hear Jay or see him?
No, he's looking that way.
Buying books. I didn't
Yes.
know if you
Oh.
had budgets that you could spend elsewhere.
Sorry, Jay, you froze for a little while. So I think we heard we heard something about budgeting for books and then didn't catch the rest of the sentence.
Yeah, there's a category for nonprofits for schools and public libraries to buy books. And we're not exactly trying to raise money to do that. But I guess every nickel in the coffer counts. If we got $1,000 or $2,500, you could maybe effect or switch some budgets around and spend money otherwise.
We could move some supplies funding over to
Yeah.
the makerspace, and as long as we spent that money, obviously, on books. So yeah, we could do
Yeah.
that.
They had constitutional focused education grants. They had grants. I did some inquiries for kids with special needs or disabilities. They had a great big wide open categories for seniors, human services, education, cultural events. And then the biggest category of grants was actually in youth, either music programming or educational for youth under 18. And from the numbers I'm seeing, there are youth in the makerspace area. So there was quite a few categories that I put in inquiries for budgets on grants that need to be spent by the end of the year. So this is a quick turnaround.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Got it.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, are there new items, new business items? Next is library director's report. Suzanne?
Thanks, guys. Thank you, ma'am. Not a ton of things to share. Lots and lots going on at the library. We're up again November 25% year over year in visits to the library. So we're just continuing to sort of maintain that level of increase. October showed up the same way, October year over year. Really every month since July. We were up 40% in July, I think it was, or June. So we are very busy, as you can imagine, at the front desk. It's been great. You know, well, we love our job. We love to engage with the public. And the excellence of the staff really shows up when we're in this kind of situation. It's really, a tribute to them that we're doing all this extra, all the engaging with folks, and people are really appreciative of us. People aren't having to wait too long to be served at the desk. We're still able to do all of the reader's advisory and all of the other ways that we engage with the public when we're off the desk. Public computers continuing to be really busy. We just started having a conversation about adding back some computers. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had 12 computers before COVID. Is that right?
15.
15, excuse me. So we have 6 right now. We're talking about adding at least 2 more, or putting 2 more back. Just because, we're starting to have folks, not so much wait. Well, we have some folks that have been waiting, not too terribly long, but we do want to, that need is increasing. We have a lot of folks coming in, as you know, to do job searches and apply for jobs and look for other community resources. So we're happy we can be there for them. We want to make sure that we are meeting their needs in a timely manner. A little update on the Oregon Heritage Grant, which is the grant that we were able to get to allow us to microfilm the older issues of the St. Helens Chronicle. Those between 2015 and when they closed in 2024. Those are the items that Brenda's going to take down to the University of Oregon. She's coordinating with them to schedule a time to take those materials, the old newspapers, in nice big boxes down to U of O, hand those over for their processing. Those materials will go not only in microfilm that the city will have, that the library will have in our local history collection, but the Museum Association will also have a copy of that. So it'll be available in both of our libraries. And then it's also added then to the History Oregon newspapers collection, which is maintained by University of Oregon. And that is newspapers across the state. It's a historical collection. It's common in states for someone to manage and maintain that collection. It's often the state archives or the state state rare materials collections. University of Oregon does help maintain that program, that collection. Obviously, that's going to enhance what we're able to do with our special collection. Brenda continues to, and Nicole continue to catalog and replace materials, not replace, replace materials back into the special collection local history room. We are, let's see, anything else? Oh, and then Brenda, the other piece of it is Brenda's going to spend some time working with the archivists there at U of O to see what kind of materials they have that will be of use to her and our patrons as she works with folks that are, interested in this region and this county. We have a fun new program. The Northwest Regional Educational Service District came to us and asked if they could help us with any special programming we might want to do with kiddos. And we had first started talking, Jana and I have been talking about sensory story time, which would be quieter lights. We'd have some soft materials, seats and bean bags and some fidgets for those kiddos that are just really overwhelmed by all the things that happen in a regular toddler program. But after talking to Kristen, their consultant, and Janet, the two of them, and I guess the three of us put our heads together, what we really identified as a particular need is for the kiddos that wiggle, that just need to keep wiggling, that have a hard time in the sort of traditional toddler story time format. So they are going to actually, the service district is going to present a monthly program we're calling We Wiggle, WEE. And it'll be, of course, for anyone, all ages, ages 0 to 5. They do a program like that in Tualatin, which has been very successful. They have a great format that they use. They have some funding, and should she get the grant funding, we'll actually end up with some other materials, some larger fidget toys and some other things that they'll use in their program, but we'll also have housed here so we can use them for our other story times as well. So those will be the fourth Tuesday of the month, and we're going to start that in January. So I think it'll take a little bit of time for us to build some momentum, but they're going to be able to promote it on their side. We'll promote it on our side, and then we'll reach out to our, to the community on social and flyers, work with the rec department, all of those ways that we reach out to families to get them, to get information to them. So we're really excited about that. Federal funding. I went to a listening session that the state librarian, Wendy Cornelissen, yeah, I got that right. Cornelissen presented last week. She shared a couple of things with us. You may have heard that the federal judge had the IMLS grants reinstated. And as I understand it, those funds are starting to go out, those grant funds that were promised to various organizations. Oregon was one of the 24 states, state attorney generals that participated in that lawsuit. The other piece is because of the state budget, the state each year the governor asks each department to do an exercise, kind of a worst case scenario. It's 2.5 and 5% reductions. The result of that could be if they adopt either of those, and it sounds likely that they will, a 2.5% decrease in our Ready to Read programs, which is funding that supports our Summer Library Challenge. In particular, that money helps us buy books and prizes for the prize wheel. So possibly 2.5 in 2026, and then another 5% in 2027. The state legislature will deliberate on that in their session beginning in February. There's no prediction about how that's going to go, but as you probably know, state funding is really struggling. And of course, we have the impact that the federal funding is having on state funds. So we're continuing to watch that. Otherwise, there hasn't been a major impact, as I said before, on what's happening with our library funding. We're continuing to work with other organizations in the county and in the city on 250th celebration next year. The Museum Association, we've been talking to them about doing some displays in the library. We're talking about how we might participate, maybe an expanded participation in the Kiwanis parade. They're talking about making it a children's parade next year, the one that they do in June. We will be incorporating one adult and one kiddo program and one teen program into the theme of 250th anniversary. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but we will. But each of those levels in the Summer Library Challenge program will include some program with that theme. Quarterly report to the City Council. You have it in your packet. I thought I would go over a couple of things and then a follow-up. The mayor, after they reviewed and discussed at the last City Council meeting, the quarterly report, asked for a follow-up of what the demographic breakdown is of our card holders. So let me share that with you. What I had Brenda do was do a snapshot, December 3rd. What does it look like on December 3rd? Can you see a document that says borrowers, card holders by age group?
Not yet, no.
Do you have it now?
Now you
Yes.
You got it. Okay, good. Yeah, this has been kind of funky the last few days. Okay, so this is as I said, this is a snapshot on December 3rd. You can see, actually, we thought there were a couple of really interesting things here. The 40 to 49, and then the 60 and older. 50 to 59 is, it's a pretty small number comparatively. I did do some research, and these numbers are really consistent across the American Library Association in partnership with Portland State did a extensive survey of public libraries in 2023. So some of the information that I have here about, how this shows up in other libraries in the country is from 2023, but I did find a more recent article that ALA published that's referenced this information as the most current. So anyway, I still don't have an answer for why ages 50 to 59 are represented differently. I was really we were expecting a bigger number there, a bigger percentage. Looked at the demographics of the city. This doesn't really, that doesn't have an effect if you look at demographic of the city age groups and proportion, percentage of ages within the city. That doesn't really inform why this number would be smaller. So we'll dig into that a little bit. But as you may, not too much of a surprise, the 60 and older, those folks that are really already established library users and tend to use more print materials, quite, substantially more print materials. Those folks, we see a lot of them, a lot of regular folks coming in the library every Monday. They come in and get their new books, or every couple of weeks. So we have some really great relationships with folks in that age group. So, and you can, not too surprising here, if you put these two together, if you put, you put these, these three you guys, 18 and under to 39, you can put all these together and you see, that's a pretty large proportion of who uses cards. 18 and under really reflects more those older kids. Typically, parents will not get cards for the itty bitties. Once those kids get to be 10 or 11, the parents will come in with the kids and they'll get their first library card, and it's really fun to see that happen. So that 10% really reflects mostly the 10 and olders And then, we have parent age folks here. So as I said, these percentages are consistent with other public libraries in the country. The other thing I thought was really interesting was, according to ALA, library use in the 19 to 49 age group has grown in the past 10 years. And they attributed that, especially in the younger range there, to use of print materials. And we know that there's been this sort of renaissance of using print materials, but what I hadn't known until I dug into this a little is that often that age group, the younger age group, is borrowing the books so they can decide whether to purchase their own copy. They're not just reading it and then returning it and going on to something else, but they're actually using it as kind of a guide for whether or not they want to buy their own copy. And in that situation, both print has definitely increased, but then also electronic reading. Although we haven't seen a lot in the last 3 years, especially. We have not seen there's a huge increase in ebooks, but most of those are the older readers, I think, that are just starting to get comfortable with that technology. And, we have obviously a much wider range of materials available on Libby than we do in our collection. However good our collection is, it's not as big as Libby, of course. So that's what we'll be sending to City Council. Kathy Payne is going to pass that on to them in the next week. I wanted to share this with you before I sent it over to her. Are there any questions about any of this?
No.
Good. All righty. Let's see what's next. We do have 2 grant proposals that are going in this week. One is around accessibility in the library. The American Library Association, under the umbrella of Libraries Transforming Communities, is the name of the umbrella of this grant series. We hope to use this funding to add automatic door openers to some of our doors within the building, so that we would have then a door on the south side, which is the McCormick Park side, exterior door that would have the paddles on it and allow people to come and go that way. Then we also want to put one on the auditorium door. We do have a lot of folks that could use some assistance, particularly with the larger events, being able to come and go in there. We're talking about also one, on the staff, in the staff exterior door that's next to the loading dock there. And then finally, if we can rearrange the room adequately, the Armstrong room as well, because we do have folks coming and going in that room quite a bit. So that's the intention there. It's a $10,000 grant. There are 300 of them being granted by American Library Association. It's due this week, and then the announcements will be mid-January, or end of January. The other thing we're applying for is the Oregon Humanities, which is a nonprofit organization, has produced for years now something called a series called Community Conversations, where they bring a facilitator or a moderator into the community. If you've been around our library for very long, Nicole used to lead these before the pandemic. Anyway, so gathering a group together, everyone sits in a circle and they have a conversation about something that might be a challenging conversation. So around the 250th, they are doing a series called Beyond 250. And there's a wide range of, hang on a second, I want to read a couple of these to you. There's a wide range of opportunities for conversations. We're applying for one. Very likely that we'll get it. And what that means is that we will be able to have one of these events hosted by them for free, instead of having to pay for travel expenses and whatnot. So as I said, there are many. I think there's 12 options. Some of the titles are We Created Equal, Democracy in Motion, Monuments and Memorials, Pleading the Fifth, Science, Religion, and Technology, Meaning of Citizenship, Talking Values Across Divides, and a number of others. So we're gonna send in our top 3 choices, which are to what do we pledge when in the course of human events and all blah, 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 while the opening of the Declaration of Independence gets fanfare, really digging into what the meanings are and deeper into the Declaration of Independence. We've requested one called Pleading the Fifth, the one that I mentioned, how the Fifth Amendment has been hailed as the ultimate safeguard in individual civil liberty, what that looks like in our current culture over the last 40 years. And then what's the third one? Are we created equal? This conversation will explore equality as a core national value of the U.S. And how we as a culture have lived up to, and what the challenges are, lived up to that concept. So those are the options that we're being asked to consider. As I said, they are being very generous. It's a very brief request. It sounds like many libraries are going to be able to take advantage of that. And I'm hoping that we will be one of those libraries. We're hoping that. Library assistant, we're still waiting on that background check, but I think we're getting closer. So we're very excited to be able to welcome our new library staff member, hoping by the first of the year, depending on timing. And then speaking of the first of the year, the library will be closed on Christmas, the 24th, and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Will be closed on New Year's Eve. And then I will be out of town from the 3rd to the 13th of January for a family gathering. Excuse me. And let me just double check to make sure I've got everything that I want to share. Oh, I know. Building maintenance. That's the last thing. So I might have mentioned this at a previous meeting, but our furnaces were born in 1996 and they're starting to show their age. So we have one that's really gotten to the point where it's lived its full life and needs to be replaced. It's twinned with another one, so they're going to replace both of them because that one is showing its age as well. So for the next couple of days, our HVAC folks are going to be working on that. It means the library proper will not be getting heat for those 2 days. If for some reason the temperature drops below 60 in that room, that seems very unlikely. Then I will close the library for that day or those days. Sounds like they'll be wrapped up at least by midday on Wednesday, but probably by the end of the day tomorrow. So that'll be great. As I said, those furnaces are aging. We have a very generous retainer with contract with the HVAC folks. So those 2 furnaces will be free to us in that we will not have to pay additional funds to replace those furnaces. And that will be the case if we had to replace all 6 of them. That would still be, we don't pay any more than our regular monthly contract, contract. And I think that is it. Any questions? Excuse me.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Let's see, going back to the agenda, I don't see the mayor logged in, so we'll go over the counselor's report and any other business.
Jana, oh, excuse me. No, go ahead, Ellen.
Are you talking about our Jana or your Jana? Our Jana. Okay. Suzanne asked if our Jana and I could give a quick update on the festival. So one of the things since we last talked is we've officially founded the Columbia County Authors Alliance. Jana, Mann, and I are 2 of the founding members. And it's an umbrella organization set up to support local writers throughout the county. And we're doing a variety of activities. And one of them, this is the other exciting piece of news, is we have a name for this festival we talked about. It's the Stories by the River Festival. It's going to kick off on Valentine's Day and finish up on March 14th. And we've been pretty busy since our last update, doing a lot of planning. I think we're almost there with the schedule, getting that buttoned down, figuring out our marketing comms, etc. Connecting with groups we might be able to partner with. So, for example, the Friends were really gracious and had us visit last week and give an update. Talked about ways we might be able to support the Friends as part of the festival. Yeah, so busy, busy, busy. Jana is going to tell you about some of the exciting programs we got coming up.
All right. So this is very exciting for our little local writers group. There have been writers groups in the county. I moved here in 86, and there have been writers groups as long as I've lived here. So we're finally kind of coming into our own. We're growing up. So this is, like Ellen said, the festival is going to kick off February 14th. As part of this, the timing isn't quite right, but part of this is including the February event that is our local replacement for National Novel Writing Month. So it actually kicks off at the very tail end of January. But through the month of February, we have special Writers Guild meeting. We're going to do a late night write at the library. We're going to be there till 11 o'clock. It feels so naughty to be in the library after closing. Different workshops will be offered throughout the month. March 7th, we'll celebrate the publication. That's anthology publication, right, Ellen? And then March
That's going to be on the
14th
14th.
is the big wrap up. Oh, March 7th is the
It's your thing.
February
Yeah.
wrap up, and March 14th is the big end of the festival with the anthology kickoff. I think it's going to be such a fun event, and it's geared for writers of all ages and abilities. I have chatted with the other libraries in the county, so we're really hoping to make this kind of a cool, I don't know, destination event here in town.
And there's also a lot of stuff for readers too. So we're really hoping to see all of you guys there and bring your family and friends. It's going to be the place to be.
Yep.
May I pop in a little bit about the library stuff? The things?
Yes.
So a couple of things. We're collaborating with the group. The first event in the festival is going to be launching our special collection, the Columbia County Authors Special Collection. And we have been collecting, thanks to Ellen and Jana and the rest of the group's support and help. We collected, I think, 30 plus submissions from local authors that wanted to have their materials in the collection. We sent their acceptance letters to them or emails, and they're starting to bring in their materials. So as you know, the next step will be for Nicole to catalog those items. We'll launch the collection with some kind of event. We haven't decided quite how we're going to do it yet on the 14th. So that'll be the first event during of the festival. And then the library is going to do a few of those events. Our book club is going to read a book and feature local authors. The Adults and Crafts program is going to be a book art program that month. We are going to host In Conversation with local authors. I'll be leading that conversation. It'll be intended for not only for their colleagues, but also for friends and family, for readers, as Ellen was saying, not just for other writers. Those are I think I'm missing. Oh, and we're going to collaborate on Ellen, help me with what it's called. The
family story time.
Thank you.
You're going to have
The family story time. Yeah. So the idea is I think we're going to invite local authors who write for kiddos.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Your Jana's got some names of some folks to talk to.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So Jana's gonna run that program. And that'll be, so again, those are programs that we already do that we're going to make special and really focus on local authors for that month. And then the special collection, which we're going to put, I don't know if you remember where the magazines are, but there's a spot right there where it's really visible from the front desk and as you come into the library. So that's where we're going to put the special collection, at least to begin with.
That's a really nice spot. I think I emailed you, Suzanne, and Jana knows as well. We've been seeing fellow authors in the county post their acceptance emails from the library. They're just thrilled about it. So we thank you for that, Suzanne. Oh, there's one other thing I was just going to say, just to keep everybody keep your fingers crossed. As part of the work we're doing, the Columbia County Authors Alliance, we've applied for a grant from the Columbia County Cultural Coalition to help support the festival, among other things. So here's hoping. Janice, or any, what have we missed, Jana?
I don't think we've missed anything. But once you see the program, I'll print it out. It'll be very cool. It'll make more sense. I get too excited and then I mess up what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I think that's us then. Thanks, Fatima.
Thank you both so much for the update. It's really exciting. This is my excited face. If there's nothing else, believe we can move to adjourn. Do you have someone who can?
I so move to adjourn.
Second.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.
evening.
See you soon at the library.
Good night.
Good night.
Happy holidays.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, I didn't even think of it. All right, I'll be right over.